So this is the Saramonic K9 and the TC Neo. Straight up, if all you're going to be doing is vlogging or talking head videos, don't waste your money. This is going to be overkill. But if you plan on doing sort of multicam work, long interviews, or even podcasting, this might be a good option. I can't say this is the best option because I've got nothing to compare it to. I've never owned something like this, but I can say that since I bought it, I've had no major dramas with it. Easy to set up, easy to use, and it's just how convenient. So have a look. Before I really wanted to touch on why I ended up buying this, just in case somebody else out there runs into the same issues I had. This might be a solution. The My original setup was the Zoom F3, the NTG5, and the DJ Mic 2. And the way I sort of structured everything from the camera, the lights to the audio is they all run independently on their own power source, so that I never have to rely on external power sources. There's no cables in it running around, and it's just easier. It's a more streamlined workflow, more convenient. And so the Zoom F3 would be plugged into an NPF battery, which would be clamped to a C-stand. The NTG5 was going to be boomed over the subject I was talking to. And because I wouldn't be in the frame, I'd be using the DJI Mark II. And then what I would do was everything would be going to one SD card as far as audio was concerned. I'd take the footage, take the audio, put them in the editing software, and just sync everything up using waveform. And this worked. It actually worked really well. But when I started running tests, like 15-minute plus, I started to notice that I was getting a lot of audio drift. And the longer I ran the tests, the worse it got, to the point where sometimes the files wouldn't even marry up. So after trying to suss out what was happening and I figured it out, the not the only solutions, but the quickest solution and the most, I suppose, the simplest was to use timecode and UHF. Now I'm assuming that a lot of you guys, sorry, know what timecode and UHF is. But for those who don't, I'll try and explain it the best I can without butchering it. Timecode is basically a digital stamp or a print on a audio or video file. And what that does is that when you take it to your editing software to sync up, it uses this stamp to marry everything together. So it's more convenient than using waveform. It's more reliable, it's quicker, and you can, especially on long form content, so that the risk of any audio drift and all that is minimized. And as far as the UHF is concerned, is all UHF is frequencies, a wider band of frequencies. These mics, like the DJI Mic 2, as good as they are, they use the 2.4 gigahertz frequency, which is the same frequency that your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth all live on. So you can imagine it's quite busy. So there is a tendency to be to get disturbance, for it to drop out and stuff, which is what was happening to me. So um, now that I found the fixes, the challenge was, how do I apply them to my current setup? And it's not impossible, but it is a bit of a hassle. And I wanted convenience. And so for me, there was just too many moving parts. I didn't want to open up a few apps here and there just to run one audio system, So I ended up biting the bullet and putting money into buying one system. And how I found this was, I was watching a review on lav mics, and this guy was talking about the Saramonic lav mic, how small the capsule is, how durable it is. And he mentioned the Saramonic K9 and TC Neo, which had just come out. So I had a quick look. Um, like I said, I don't know if this is the best option out there, because there's definitely more, and there's definitely other systems that have a longer history, more reliable, that have been tested in the field. So that's something to think about. I like this because it just fixed all my problems in one system. And combined with the app, it just makes everything how convenient. So once everything's connected, you could just hit sync, and everything's off. So this isn't going to be a in-depth or deep dive review, because I'm going to butcher it. I just want to sort of demonstrate how easy it is to set this up. Like for someone like me who's never done this before, it was so easy, so simple. It was, once I had everything, it took a while to set everything up, but once I sort of sussed it out, simple. And now it's just pretty seamless. It takes me 5 minutes to set everything up. I'll explain quickly how it works. So the Saramonic K9 comes with two transmitters and one receiver. You can mount it any way you like. This is just roughly how I do it. The receiver goes on here, you do an auto scan, and it picks the two cleanest frequencies, which you send out to your transmitters. You pair them all up, and that's locked in. You then take your receiver and you plug it into the mic input of your camera. Now for the time code box, not every camera supports timecode. So if you don't have one, there is a fix. I don't know what it is. So let's just imagine you have a camera that has timecode. The timecode box, you plug the 3mm jack into one end, and you take the USB-C cord and you just plug it into the USB-C thing. You know what I mean? This is why I don't do reviews, because I just end up confusing myself. Anyway, once all that's connected, you line it all up to your camera, do your camera settings and all that jazz. You open up your phone and you add them all to the app. Sync everything, and I use frame rate. I use 25 frames per second, and just once everything's synced up, off you go. Really simple. And because the TC Neo kit comes with 3 timecode boxes, you can run more. Like the app itself can take up to 48 devices, but the TC kit comes with 3. So I've run my tests with 2 time boxes, the one on that one and the one on this one, all syncs up perfectly. I'm butchering this video away, but you get the drift. You know what I'm talking about. End of the story. Listen, end of the story. Moral of the story. Now I'm butchering it even more. Moral of the story is hell convenient. Easy to use, easy to set up. Price-wise, it's not cheap though. Like, it's not the most expensive system out there, but it's certainly not cheap. Like, the combination of the K9, the TC Neo is the same price as a brand new FX30. So that may come into play when you're thinking about which system to buy. It also doesn't have the history of the other ones, so that's also another thing to look into. I'm just going to stop. I'm butchering it. That's the Saramonic K9 TC Neo. Cool system. I think it's great. If there's any issues, I'll let you know. I'm done. Oh, wait a minute. There's cons. What I don't like about it. I've got to get better at scripting videos today. But the cons. To access, if you want to take the onboard recording from the transmitter, you're going to have to take out the batteries, and it's just tucked away in there. It's not a deal breaker, but it's pretty crap. The other issue I had was the app. The app can be a bit fickle, so it's not like it doesn't work, but every now and again you've got to delete everything on it, add them all back in, reset the Bluetooth, and then off you go. But once it works, it works. So yeah. Okay, now I really am done. Okay, next video is going to be about lighting, and I'll try not to butcher this one. Okay, so